We continue Shur on Tefillah. We finished Ashiyatzar last week. Now we're going to start Elokai Neshama. First, I read the translation of the Elokai Neshama. Then we're going to go through to understand the depth of what this bracha is about. Elokai means my God, means the God who supervises. Dr. K is Midat Rahamim. Elokenu is Midat Din, supervising. My God, my Lord, my Master. Now we have to pause a little bit. We have to say Elokai Neshama Shemata. Now when we say Elokai, you have to pause a little bit and say Neshama. Because if you say both together, Elokai Neshama sounds like if you say both together, Elokai Neshama.
With Rory. From fine lines to breakouts to dark spots, Rory makes it simpler to reach your skin goals. Tell us about your skin, connect with a provider.
If you say both together, sounds like Elokai Neshama. In other words, my master Neshama. In other words, then Chas v'Shalom would be just the opposite. In other words, you are saying that Neshama is my master, is my God, and that would not be right. Therefore, when you say Elokai, you have to pause. You have to say Elokai, my God, pause. Neshama Shnata Bi. The Neshama that you gave me, the Shnata Bi, gave me Tehora. It's Tahor, it's pure. Therefore, when we get up from the morning, that's the first bracha that we make. And we say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Neshama that you gave me Tehora, it's pure. Ata B'Rata, you created that. Ata Yistarta, you formed that. Ata Nefachta Bi, and you blew it in me. Interesting, for blowing, we say blowing in me. Ata Mishamera B'Gerbi, and you preserve it, you watch it within me. Ata Ati Eteram Meni, and in future will take it from me, will Achzira Bi, and return it back to me, the Ati Labo, in future. Time to come. Kol Zeman, all the time. Shahanishama Gerbi, the Neshama is within me. Modani Lefanecha. Thankful I am to you, for you, Hashem, Elokai, my God, Elokai Avotai, and the God of my fathers, Ribon Kol Hamasim, the master of all of the creation, Adon Kol Neshamot, the Lord of all of the souls, Baruch Atah Hashem, blessed you are the God, Hamachzir Neshamot, that restores the Neshamot souls, Niftarim Metim, to the dead bodies. Niftarim Metim. So that's the first bracha that we make. The Gemara says when we get up from sleep, you should make this bracha. Now, usually the Gemara says whatever that bracha that you make, it goes with the function of the activities that you do during the day. But the minhag is not like that. The minhag is that first we make Netzal Yadayim, and then we say bracha Netzal, then dry our hand and Ashiyatzar, then we say this bracha. It's very interesting. That's called the bracha, but that doesn't start with bracha. We say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. All of the Birkat HaShachar, all the blessings of the morning, all starts with bracha. This one doesn't start with bracha. Now, there are different explanations for that. One explanation is that this bracha, it has to be connected to Ashiyatzar. The bracha of Ashiyatzar goes on that also. Both are combined together. Now, why? Why do you make it combined together? Because bracha of Ashiyatzar, the bones, is bracha on the body, on the goof. We talked about the holes in the body. If it gets closed or opens up, the person cannot stay alive. Neshama is bracha of Neshama, Neshama Shetatabi. The Adam consists of the body and Neshama. Now we say Baruch Atah Hashem, Rofi Kol Basar, at the end of the Ashiyatzar. You are a healer of all of the flesh. You heal all of the flesh, and you wonder. In other words, healing means that as long as the goof is healthy, then the Neshama could do its activities, could become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Mafri also the wonders. And the HaKadosh Baruch Hu does wonders that combines the goof and Neshama together, the body and Neshama, which is spiritual together, that the person could be Oved Hashem. Therefore, these two brachot, one is goof, one is Neshama, combined together. That's why it doesn't start with Baruch, because the bracha of Ashiyatzar goes on that. Therefore, Mitzad Halacha is better to connect this bracha to Ashiyatzar. But some Mefarshim say, no, it's not connected, because the Gemara didn't say that this bracha should precede Ashiyatzar. Ashiyatzar is for using facilities. Somebody doesn't use the facilities, but still it makes this bracha in the morning and doesn't say Ashiyatzar. Therefore, Rabbeinu Tam says, this bracha is bracha of Huda, bracha of thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the fact that Neshama came back. Our Baruch Hu, we were sleeping at 1/60th of death. Hashem is reviving us. We make a bracha. So thankful, being thankful. Now, just like when we make a bracha on something, we have to have something that the bracha should place on it. Rabbi Tam says, whenever we make bracha on Huda, to be thankful becomes a bracha, we have to say Huda first. And we see on the blessing of the Geshamim also rain, it doesn't start with bracha, but the Chatim at the end has the bracha. Same thing. Because the Huda of the Geshamim, be thankful that the Geshamim rain comes, the Gemara says, we used to make the bracha, same thing. Therefore, Rabbi Tam says, any bracha of Huda, to be thankful, first we say the Huda, then we make a bracha. Because the bracha has to take place on something. This is the subject of the bracha, is the Huda. Where we give the Huda to our Baruch Hu, that Hashem will revive our Neshama, came back to us. And once we say that, then we make the bracha. Now, the bracha starts with Elokai, my master. In other words, the fact that the person gets up, in other words, some people go to sleep and they don't get up. You hear once in a while something like that happens. Because sleeping is 1/60th of death. Just like by death, there's a separation between Neshama and Guf. What's death? What's the explanation of death? Neshama gets away from the Guf, removes the Guf completely. Now, the Zohar HaKadosh and the Kabbalim say, sleep also, some part of the Neshama goes up. It's like death. Not all the way, all of it, but a lot of halakim of the Neshama goes up. And they write down whatever that they did on that day. They restore themselves. Therefore, depends on the day that the person had Kedusha day, therefore the Neshama restores himself with Kedusha. If with Tumah, the Neshama restores itself with Tumah. So when the Neshama goes up, it's like death, something like death. Therefore, with the supervision of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we get up. Therefore, the first thing that we get up in the morning, we make this bracha, Elokai, my master. Understand this is supervision. It's not the one day that person gets up. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu would not wake up a person by sleeping, he would be sleeping and would be sleeping. And that's Chas v'Shalom, he would not get up. So the first thing is that we address Elokai, my God. And why do you say my God, Elokeinu, my God? It's a personal matter. We want to indicate and to note that this is a chesed, kindness, personally to you from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I thank personally HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Elokai, my God, you are my supervisor. You are the one that you are restoring my soul to me. You are returning by my soul to me. Therefore, that goes, my God, you are my master. Say, my personal God, my personal Lord, that does that. Elokai, my God, Neshama Shnataka. The Neshama, the soul that you gave me, be with me. Neshama Shnataka, be Tehorah. It's interesting. We have Neshama that you gave me Tehorah. What does be mean? I thought a person is Neshama. Who is thanking Hashem? Who is being giving praise to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? I thought it's a Neshama, but the Neshama Shnataka, be Tehorah. See, the point is that it's what's Adam. Adam is a Guf or is the Neshama. What is it? Adam is not body, it's not Neshama. A person, Adam, is a combination of the Guf and the Neshama. Say like water. What's the formula of water? Oxygen and hydrogen. H2O. Now, water is not hydrogen and water is not oxygen. But once we have them together, it's a third item, it's a new entity in itself. Adam is not body, it's not Neshama. The combination of the both is Adam that makes that Adam would have free choice, that Adam could be Eved Hashem. It's a combination of these two opposite sides that makes the free will, makes to be sent to be over Hashem. Without that, we can't. The animals don't have free choice. Malachim don't have. Animals, all his body is like a goof, his body, and the Malachim all are spiritual. They don't have the opportunity to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The combination of both is Adam. Therefore, we thank the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Neshama that you can meet Torah. Ata v'rata, you created that. Ata v'rata, you created that. Ata yistarta, you formed that. Ata nefachta bi, and you blew it in me. Now, Levychaim said that really Neshama consists of 5 levels. Neshama is not one chelek, one portion. Neshama has 5 halakim, 5 portions inside. Now, in this bracha of Neshama, we mention all 5. Elokai, my master, pause. Neshama shata tabi tehor. The Neshama that are now, this is the Ruach, Nefesh, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. Going higher and higher, it becomes holier and holier. Therefore, we say, my God, Neshama shata tabi, that is the highest form of Neshama, part of the Neshama. It's called Yechida. And this Neshama is right. That is that's Chelek Elokai Mima'al. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very closest creature to Hashem. That's Elokai. That is hinted in Elokai, my God, because in other words, all of the creation there's a term for the creation. Some of them were Beria creation. One of them is Yetzira. One of them Asiya. Some of them Asiya, and some of them Vayomer. Now, for the Neshama itself, Torah uses Torah Vayipach. Vayipach means it blew. Now, the Gemara says, Mon de Nafach, Midi de Nafach. Somebody that blows something from inside the inner part. Therefore, the closest creature to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Neshama Yechida. That's called Yechida. Yechida also comes from Yachid, very unique. That very unique Chelek that in its creature, that's the creature part of the Neshama, that is the closest Chelek to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is hinted in the word of Elokai. Then Neshama Shatata Bi, that's the second portion of Neshama, Chaya. Now, Chaya and Yechida, they are parts of the Neshama that they don't get dressed in the goof. In other words, the goof, the body is like a dress for Neshama. The Zohar HaKadosh says, the Mekubalim say, Chaya and Yechida, they are part of the Neshama of a person. It's called Or Makif. It's like a light, enlightening person around the person. It doesn't get to the goof. That's why you say, Elokai Neshama Torah. That's why they are tahor. In other words, the sins of the goof and indulgement of the goof doesn't have impact on them. So that's why that Chaya, Yechida and Chaya, be Torah, and Shatata be that gave it to me, that Torah, that's tahor, it's not mitrabesh, it doesn't go inside of the goof, or makif, it's Torah. Now, Ata v'rata, you created, that goes on the Neshama. In other words, just like Chaya Yechida, they are from the realm of the Absolute. Then we have the Ramut, from the Absolute, very close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Neshama is Beria. Like Vayibra Elokim, in other words, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the Beria. Ata v'rata goes in Neshama. Ata Yistarta, that you formed Adam, that Yetzira, forming Adam, is Ruach. Ata Nafachta Bi, that is that's Ruach, and Ata Nefachta Bi, that's Nefesh. So we have Chaya Yechida, Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh. Ata Nefachta Bi, in other words, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu belongs to a person, and Nefachta Bi within me. In other words, even though that they have a Nefesh, and Behem also has Nefesh Behemai, but Rambam explains that even though that both have nefesh, but nefesh Adam is me'ula me'od. Nefesh of Adam is wordlessly by pach, mapach tabi. But nefesh of the Bema is by ya'as, we made. Therefore, the nefesh, the soul of an animal, is part of its goof. It's not separate from its goof. Therefore, all is one big body, materialistic goof, body. But by human beings, even what gives chiyut to the goof is the nefesh, but the nefesh has some spirituality in it. That's why by pach, the terminology that's been used for that neshama, that nefesh, is by pach. That shows the greatness of Adam. Now, now you watch that within me, that once became part of me. Now I need Shemira. In other words, the Gemara says, as soon as person comes out of the Avaraham, Neshama could, in other words, Neshama and the goof have tendency to go astray and to get indulged in other wrong things. There is the Levychaim, this is a beautiful mashal. Levychaim says, imagine somebody runs a wagon with two horses, and the horses are rides a wagon with the two horses, and he feels that these horses are very smart and they know where to go. Sometimes he just puts his eyes and closes his eyes and he takes a little bit nap on the way that on trip on the way. One time he closes his eyes and he takes a little bit nap, and he knows, he said that my horses are very smart, and they know the way to go. And all of a sudden, the horses that were going on the road, they see on the side of the road some grass, very fresh and very good. Therefore, they go on the side, and obviously the side was not paved properly and everything. The wagon hits the ground and the stone, and some people get injured, and the wagon was turning over. And then they told the rider, what did you do? How come you brought us to such a situation? What did you do? He says that, why are you telling me? I had smart horses. I thought that these smart horses, they take care of it. They take care of it. They know they are smart. Says they tell him that even smart horses, when they see grass, they become horse. Right? They're very smart horses. But once the grass comes, now Levychaim says that's a mashal to our group and neshama. Our neshama, that that neshama needs to be watched inside of a person. If a person doesn't watch his neshama and watches the goof over the goof, to be careful, once neshama goes to sleep, takes a nap, then the goof takes over, and that's what that he wants to do. You are and you watch it with me. Now, every day we make a bracha, blessing, that we understand the reality of death. That in future you take it from me. In other words, when we talk about death, you're going to take it from me, you're going to take it from me, and then right away you say, you're going to return back, because Neshama is forever. Death is only occasional. But we talk about reality of death. It's interesting that first thing in the morning, every morning, we talk about the purity of Neshama. Therefore, once we talk about that Neshama is pure and Hashem created us 5 chalakim of the Neshama, every chelek and chelek as a function, and we bring up, we upgrade the ambition of a person. We tell him, you're not a garbage man. You have dignity. You have a neshama. Neshama is very close to our Yachid Kollel. You're not somebody. The perspective makes a person. When a person feels like a garbage, he becomes a garbage man. When a person feels that, no, I'm a kaddish, becomes kaddish. Now, in the morning, the first thing that we say, we can neshama. First, we talked about Neshama, that's Kadosh, it's pure. Let's keep it pure. There's 5 halakim, 2 of the halakim, so Mitavish goes, Oramakif, all is Elokai, it's Elokai, Mima'al Mamash, it's part of our Baruch Hu that gave it to us. Part of Hashem Chasron doesn't mean it's really part of Hashem, it's very close to our Baruch Hu. And that is building the self-esteem of a person every morning, that you should know where are you. In other words, when a person knows his own dignity, then he doesn't do something below his dignity. But somebody that doesn't have dignity, he does everything. And then we talk about the reality of death. We talk about this. This is a very short time. Hashem will take it away from us. We shouldn't think that it stays. We shouldn't think that they prove as permanency. We shouldn't think that okay, it's a person, okay. The person said, if it takes it from me, let me have a good time, let me enjoy myself, let me do. I said, no, we'll return back to me, and stays me forever. So whatever that I make out of that will stay forever. Now, call them out. Now, what's my job to do? What's the real job of a person to do? Call them out, as long as the Neshama is within me, it will be more than I'm thankful to you before you. In other words, the greatest shield for a person to keep his neshama tahor and not to make it dirty is to be thankful to our Baruch. I'm thankful to you, Hashem, more than Elokai, my God, Elokai, and the Lord of my fathers, right? And more than I'm thankful to you, Hashem. Therefore, to be thankful to our Baruch Hu, that's the first thing that the person does. That's the first approach. Once the Chod Alevavot says, all of the gateway to the Avot of our Baruch Hu comes with gratitude. Once we have the feelings of gratitude, we thank Hashem for our life, for the things that we have. More than as long as I have the Neshama, I know you are going to take it away from me and return it back. Therefore, I have a short time. It's precious. Every second, every minute is precious. Because the man that I have it, I'm thankful to you, Elokai, my God and the God of my forefathers. First, the person should say God of forefathers and then my God, because he was the God of forefathers first. But it doesn't help. We have to have a relation with ourselves. We have to build them Elokai, my God, my supervision, the one that supervises me. That's the personal relation that the person builds. He cannot just be on account of his father. You are the master of all of the creation, whatever that's in creation, and you are the master of all of the Neshama. In other words, you, whatever that happens in the world, you are the master for it, and you are the master of all of the Neshama. Master means the creation, whatever that happens in the deed of life. You are the master over it, and you are master of all of the activities of the Neshama, whatever that Neshama is doing. Baruch atah Hashem, blessed Hashem, hamachasir, the one who returns back, the Neshamot, the soul to Lifkarim Metim, dead bodies. What does dead bodies mean over here? This bracha is for sleeping. Sleeping is 1/60th of death. Therefore, we make this bracha now. It's very interesting, this halacha, that if a person doesn't say the blessing of the morning, and he says, start having, says, Baruch Shama, Shemonetzre, now, once he says Shemonetzre, and he makes the bracha, Baruch atah Hashem, Lechayeh Hametim, you revive the dead bodies, then it's not allowed to make this bracha anymore. We have to make sure to make this bracha before the bracha of Shemoneh. If a person is late and wants to skip, we should not skip this bracha. If a person skips this bracha, then he cannot say. And also the bracha of Bikat Torah, you should not skip it. Because when you say Ahavaturah, the bracha of the Hachema, then it covers this bracha. These 2 brachot has to be said. Now, what does this bracha have to do with Chiyat HaMetim? Because Hamachti Neshamot of Karimetim, when it returns back to Neshamot of Karimetim, dead bodies, that in itself is like is a function of Chiyat HaMetim. Just like the dead bodies becomes alive when a person goes to sleep, also part of the Neshama lives in. That's like a state of death and becomes alive. Therefore, every morning we make a bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us our life in the morning, and that associates with Tichat HaMetim. Therefore, here we do two functions. One function is to realize, to understand there is Tichat HaMetim. Not just like I was like a dead body and I got up, the dead bodies also get up. I was looking back the Neshama to the body. That brings the reality of Tichat HaMetim, and it's very important. Person has to live with the reality of Tichat HaMetim. There are 13 principles that every Jew has to believe and live with the reality of that. One of them is Tichat HaMetim, that was Baruch Hu revives the dead bodies. That's one thing. The other thing is that to appreciate, to be grateful. In the minute that the person gets up, the life continues. That life is a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Once we understand it's a gift and we give bracha, it's a bracha avodah. We say that that's in start with bracha, Baruch Hu is a hodah. The bracha avodah, hodah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the fact of life, the fact that we are living. Therefore, it's very interesting that Judaism is based on these ideas that in the morning, when we get up, the first bracha that we are making right now, the blessing of the morning, Neshama, to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu that I was like a dead body and you gave me a life, to be grateful. Once a person starts the day with such a perspective, with the right perspective of being grateful and to be thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to understand there is the right of Tichat HaMetim. In other words, something that it makes the life very hard because we are becoming very narrow-minded. We think that Ulam Hazeh is primary. Life is this. And once we limit our perspective and we feel life is just whatever that we see around ourselves, then we're going to have a very big problem to understand a lot of things in life. We cannot understand a lot of things in life. But once we open up our perspective and we see life is endless, life is not just, it's a Tichat HaMetim, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings it, it's everlasting. That's the first thing that we say in the morning. Every Jew has to get up with this idea that the life is everlasting. Life is not just for Amazeh to do something, to accomplish here, to have a mansion, to have a prestige, kavod, and honor, and that's it, go to a table. That's not life. Every morning that we get up, we point out it's everlasting life. There's a very important life after this life. And that's one point. The other point is to be grateful for even this life that was gave it to us. Imagine somebody is in the bed, he cannot do anything. Sometimes the person goes to visit sick people, it's very good. The person gets to appreciate his life. Somebody had the coronavirus, and I asked him, what happened? He says, for 2 weeks I was in bed. I couldn't move. I was so pain. It's like a snake. He was saying that it was like a snake wrapping around me. I couldn't move. My breathing was very hard for me. I couldn't breathe. And I didn't know what's happening to me. Such a small creature goes to the body and see what happens to the body. And he was saying that, he appreciates life. He appreciates health. Sees that every morning that he could get up, he has a full energy, full power. And that was what restores him. Every morning, the Riyah Chadosha person every morning has a Beriah Chadosha, it's like a new creature, and he comes with a new Beriah. That is to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all of these things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to us.